Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Today's video, I'm doing another media haul, some vinyl that I bought, some used vinyl, and also bought some Blu-ray, well, mostly DVDs and Blu-rays as well. So I know I recently, I feel like I did a physical media haul not too long ago from stuff I bought on Amazon and some items I bought at Walmart. Actually, I've been buying a lot of CDs at Walmart lately. That's mostly what I've been getting. But this time I decided to get some, go to Vintage Stock where they have used vinyl. I like to go there every once in a while, at least once a month. I go over there, see if there's anything new in their piles that I can get for, you know, a couple dollars to $5 a piece. So they're not in good shape, but they're cheap. So I like getting them. I love adding old records to my collection. It's a lot of fun anyways. And especially enjoy looking for different types of records that I don't see anybody else have. Some unique ones in there maybe. I do enjoy that quite a bit besides the normal big albums and all that. And went to Barnes & Nobles and looked at their movie section. I know Barnes & Nobles is a book place, and I do get books there, but they do have vinyl, CDs, Blu-rays, DVDs, and all that stuff. And so sometimes I look through their movie section. The only problem with Barnes & Noble is a lot of their stuff is pretty expensive. Like I was looking through their CD and vinyl section as well, and they're pretty expensive. That's why I didn't get anything from them. They got, you know, they're not a big place to get like music and movies, of course. They're mostly for books. But they do have some classic movies there. I find a lot of times on DVD for not a lot of money. So I try to get stuff. They also have a really big Criterion collection. They have a whole shelf of Criterion collection movies, which do cost a lot of money. I got one Criterion collection. I like to get one every once in a while to add to my Criterion collection. So I did that. Mostly I bought some DVDs for like $5 a piece, and then the Criterion one. Like I said, I don't buy Criterion too often because they're very expensive, but I do like them for collecting purposes anyway. So let's first maybe go to the movies, check out what movies I got at Barnes & Nobles. First one is Kelly's Heroes from I think 1970 or so. Yeah, I really love this movie. It's a comedy set during World War II. Clint Eastwood as a star, kind of a young Clint Eastwood there. This is part of the Clint Eastwood collection. In fact, they had a set of Clint Eastwood movies there. That must be a big thing that they sell. But I remember my dad really loved this movie or really liked this movie, and he showed it to me one time on TV or something like that, and I thought it was really great. And one I've always wanted to get on physical media. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. It is a fun movie. Don Rickles, absolutely hilarious. The late Don Rickles there. Telly Savalas is great. Also, Donald Sutherland's absolutely hilarious as well. A lot of great comedy there. Set during World War II anyway, so happy to get that. This is definitely one of the comedy classics, parodies, Airplane. This is the Don't Call Me Shirley edition. One of the greatest comedy lines here. Definitely a must comedy I think anybody should watch, including you, Mike. You know who you are. Yeah, this was a movie, of course, I've seen since I was young. It's definitely very not kid-friendly type movie. But it's, in fact, some of the jokes are a little too immature, but it's iconic, I guess. That's the only way I can say. The jokes are silly but iconic. I feel like it really changed parody movies in a way that haven't seen before. And the Zuckers who did this, Jim Abrams, I think, directed, and the Zucker brothers wrote it, and they would do some more movies like this. I feel like this movie is one of the groundbreaking like parody movies that really a lot of parody movies after this. It's influenced, I should say. It's influenced about every parody movie coming afterwards, and a lot of them try to be like Airplane, where you just throw a lot of silly stuff at the screen. I mean, it's just joke, 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 silly jokes, silly gags, silly visual gags, some funny lines here and there. Like I said, this is definitely a little mature at times for me. Even I'm like, that's going a little far, but I still laugh quite a bit on it. I don't know if I think it has a commentary by the writers, director, and producer. So I'm excited to see the commentary on this as well. Obviously, Leslie Nielsen, so great. He did this before he started the Naked Gun series as well. Kind of started his career as a great comedic actor from being a very serious actor. Anyways, but yeah, Airplane. Another comedy classic, in my opinion. We got National Lampoon's Vacation, the original first movie with Chevy Chase playing Griswold here, Clark Griswold. See, he's got his name on top, so he's definitely the big name here. Guess it's set during 1983, so the year I was born it came out. But I loved this as a kid. Of course, again, this is a bit mature for me as a kid. Definitely had to cut some stuff out when I watched it on TV. I do prefer Christmas Vacation over it, but it's still, I mean, this is the original. It's the classic. That's why we got so many sequels, and then another sequel later on where they're playing like the grandparents, and Russ is the main character. But it's all about family going on vacation, traveling all the way to Wally World, which is like Disney World, and all the mishaps that happen. And again, it looks like it has a real fun commentary with most of the actors, and it's directed by Harold Ramis, the late Harold Ramis. But yeah, I'm kind of excited to see the commentary track. I'm sure it's really good. Looks like similar to the Christmas Vacation commentary track, which has a lot of the actors in it. That's a really fun commentary track, so I'm guessing this is gonna be real fun too. This is different. This is a documentary I've never seen before, but I've heard about, and it's one of my favorite actors, Gene Wilder. So it's called Remembering Gene Wilder. Yeah, they just made it this last year, I guess. I saw an interview with his third and last, I think his third wife, his last wife, when he died. I saw an interview with her, Ben Mankiewicz, who does a lot of interviews for TCM. I saw him interviewing her. I think maybe somebody else who helped make the movie, this documentary. Anyways, forgetting who that was, but I feel like there was like a famous actor or something like that made this documentary. Maybe you're wrong about that. I'm looking at the back to see if it says anything, but Ron Frank. Okay, maybe I don't know him, but anyways. But I saw an interview and I was like, oh man, I love Gene Wilder. I'd love to see a documentary. I've read his autobiography, Don't Hug a Naked Man, I think, or something like that it's called. Yeah, so it looks like it's got a lot of home videos, and a lot of interviews with people like Mel Brooks on here and people that knew him, and talking about his career. I mean, huge fan of Young Frankenstein, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, Stir Crazy, The Producers, Blazing Saddles. I mean, maybe the funniest actor of all time, in my opinion. I love Gene Wilder. So I'm excited to see that documentary. I've got, well, let me get with this one first. Another DVD I picked up is 13 Hours. Again, these DVDs were about $5 a piece. I think the documentary maybe was more like 15, but and a lot of them were like 30% off, maybe 40% off, sometimes 50% off. So they're definitely trying to get rid of these, I think, at Barnes and Nobles, anyways, because I did see a lot of empty shelves there in the movie section. I wonder if they're going to get away. I mean, of course, bookstores aren't as popular today as they used to be. Barnes and Nobles was the thing when I was a kid. I mean, I loved going to Barnes and Nobles. That was like a family outing. Let's go to Barnes and Nobles and look around. I spent a long time just looking around at books. But anyways, yeah, I really like this. Actually, my favorite Michael Bay movie. Michael Bay is known for these very silly, over-the-top action movies. And then you got 13 Hours, which is a true story, based on a true story, very serious movie. Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, it's called, 13 Hours. It's based off a book, though. A book was written about this moment that happened while Obama was president, where in Benghazi, they took over the embassy and killed the American ambassador there. And there were some soldiers there who went to protect the ambassador anyways. And then their compound got attacked, and they had to fend off their compound, surrounded by locals anyways. So And they called Washington to get some help. Like, can you just send some airplanes over, some jets over, just to scare them off? And of course, they didn't do it. Hillary Clinton, who's the Secretary of State, of course, didn't do anything about it. So left our soldiers to die, that kind of thing. So yeah, so it's a very true story, important moment, I think, in our history, in politics. A really well done movie. And this is one of the first movies I saw John Krasinski there play a serious role and do a really good job. He's mostly known playing Jim on The Office, which I love him on The Office and a lot of his comedy movies. And now he's kind of known for doing he's doing kind of a serious action movie here. He did Jack Ryan on Amazon, which I haven't seen all of those, and The Quiet Place. Now he's like a really good director too. He's directing a lot of good movies. His career's really gone in a lot of different ways, but this is definitely one of his best performances, I think. Overall, and like I said, Michael Bay does a really good job here. It's a really intense action movie, I would say. Definitely worth a watch, I think. 13 hours. So if you like military movies. All right, the last movie I'm going to talk about, I was going to say this for last. This is the one I got on Criterion. It's a mad world. The Criterion here. This again cost me more like $30, I think. This is one of the great comedies again from 1963. Classic comedy if you haven't seen it. It is a bit long. I remember it's like 3 hours long, so it's probably too long of a movie. But there's some classic moments here. And it's got probably the best comedy cast of all time. I mean, bar none. I've never seen a cast with so many iconic comedians and so forth. And we got Milton Berle, we got Sid Caesar, we got Mickey Rooney, we got Jonathan Winters, is my favorite actor in here. Ethel Merman, and then you got Spencer Tracy, and I think maybe his last movie or one of his last movies he ever made before he died. He made this one. He has he's a major character in here, but anyways. But there's a number of other really good actors here as well. Buddy Hackett, I don't know if I said him. Phil Silvers is great. Yeah, it's just a who's who of great actors. There's also some great cameos. It has amazing cameos in here as well. I always loved that as a kid. This is a movie I watched as a kid and absolutely loved it. My parents showed it to me as a kid. Yeah, we got people like Sterling Holloway, Buster Keaton, Don Knotts. I think they had more like cameos in here. Carl Reiner, the Three Stooges make a very short cameo as well. Jimmy Durante has a very short part at the very beginning of the movie. But yeah, if you might say, I don't know any. Peter Falk, love Peter Falk. You might think, I don't know any of these actors. Well, these were some of the funniest people of this period. So believe me, they were huge actors at this time. And to get that many great actors in one movie is just fun. It's a really big cast. It's just a fun premise of all these people come across a guy who says he gets in a car wreck and he's dying. Before he dies, he tells him that he has buried treasure and kind of tells him where it's at. And they all rush to go find this buried treasure. And the police know about it, so they're actually following everybody along the way, trying to find the buried treasure as well. So it's a fun movie. But yeah, it's kind of fun that they put on Criterion here. Looks like they have they have a commentary track by some people that are, I guess, experts at the movie. We got a documentary on the movie with interviews here, all kinds of interviews with people. So got a lot of cool special features, it looks like, which I always love about getting these kind of stuff, especially special stuff like this. I love the design of the disc there, the red and white. It just has matte everywhere. But yeah, happy to put that in my Criterion collection. So that's how you say it. All right, let's get to my vinyl. What I get in vinyl here? Again, I buy these usually for about a couple bucks, maybe $5 at the most. So a lot of times I buy, these are kind of more blind buys, I call them, where I've never heard any of these albums before, but I know maybe I know a song or two, and I was like, I kind of like what I'm hearing. I'll just go ahead and buy this album for $2. I got it in my collection, maybe I'll enjoy it, but first one I got is Bobby V's Golden Greats. And there's Bobby V there. Again, I don't know a lot about Bobby V. He's not a singer that I'm like super familiar with. And so you might be like, why'd you buy this? Well, I looked in and saw the very first song was Take Good Care of My Baby. I really like that song, actually. I believe that's one of his first big, or I say biggest hit that I can think of. I've heard the name Bobby V, so I'm like, I know that name. But Take Good Care of My Baby is a classic on the oldie station. I used to hear that on the oldie stations a lot, and I always liked that song. So I kind of was like, oh, I like that. And then we got, I'm guessing a lot of these are probably covers maybe, but it says they're his big hits, 15 of his biggest hits. We got Rubber Ball, which I know from Circle is a great song. Let's see. We got One Last Kiss. I think I know that song. Every Day, I'm guessing is the Buddy Holly cover. I don't know. I might know some of these if I heard them. Once I heard them, maybe I'll recognize them. But I thought, I'll take a chance on this. I don't know all these songs that well, but I was like, I like that first song. I know he was a big deal at one time, so might as well get Bobby V in my collection. Why not? One of my favorite things is we got a little bit of a bio in the back. We got some pictures of Bobby V there. I love facts about Bobby. 19 years old when this came out, so a young guy. Born in Fargo, North Dakota. Brown hair, hazel eyes, like me, same way. I like likes girls. That's his likes. I don't blame me there, Bobby. Dislikes girls wearing flashy clothes and jewelry, too much makeup and sloppy dressers. That's what he doesn't like. Favorite color is gold and blue, pretty good. Favorite pet, a collie named Shadow. Favorite clothes, anything casual, especially sweaters. He does wear a sweater so he does like his sweaters. I like this. Romantic life, available. Well done, Bobby. Very well done. First job as an entertainer, filled in for Buddy Holly after he died in a plane wreck, interesting enough. First big hit was Devil or Angel, which is on this album, so I'd be interested in seeing that. Ambitions for the future, motion pictures. I do believe he was an actor as well. Temperament, shy, soft-spoken, quiet. Just like me. Pretty similar. So far, we're pretty similar, to be honest. Weakness, pretty girls. Me too, Bobby. Me too. Pretty girls are dangerous. Yeah. So, yeah, and he even write into his fan club on the back. So, if you want to write to good old Bobby V. Anyway, so, yeah, we'll see if I like that or not once I get to listen to it. Get a better feel who Bobby V is. This is a soundtrack that at first I looked at it and I was like, is this a good soundtrack? And then I looked at the songs like, wow, this is a really good song selection. But it is, it's songs from The Big Chill, the movie The Big Chill that came out in the 80s. But it says more songs from the original soundtrack. So this looks like maybe not the original soundtrack, but like an addition to the soundtrack or something. I don't know. Anyways, but like Big Chill, pretty good movie from the 80s period. I do remember they do play some music, some radio hits in the movie as well. And that's what we're going for here. And there's, of course, scenes from the movie. It's a pretty good movie, actually. A very underrated movie, I would say, even though it was nominated for Best Picture. I believe it's got a really great cast. In fact, if you see Jeff Goldblum in here, Kevin Kline is really great. William Hurt, Tom Berenger, Glenn Close, I believe, got a nomination for Best Supporting Actress for the role. Meg Tilly, directed and written by Lawrence Kasdan, who wrote some of the Star Wars movies. Yeah, pretty good movie to check out. And so we got the soundtrack here, which is just songs. I guess some of these songs they played in the movie, some they didn't. But I got it because it was like, it's a pretty good collection of songs anyways. We got Bad Moon Rising, great song from CCR. Wouldn't It Be Nice from Beach Boys. It's the Same Old Song from the Four Tops. When a Man Loves a Woman from Percy Sledge. Dancing in the Street with Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. In the Midnight Hour by the Rascals. Quicksilver Girl from the Steve Miller Band. Gimme Some Lovin' from the Spencer Davis. To Me Fish in the Sea by the Marvelettes. And we end with The Weight by the band. So, pretty good selection of songs. I was like, for a couple bucks, that's cool. Get the Big Chill in my collection. This one I'm kind of excited, actually pretty excited. I found, because I don't have any of this music, but this Diamond Ring by Gary Lewis and the Playboys, which I'm guessing is maybe one of their first albums, because this Diamond Ring is probably their biggest hit that they ever had. I want to say maybe, I don't know the exact history, but probably one of their first big hits, I would think. They did have a number of big hits that did very well. This is the only real big hit that I know on the album itself, but we got Gary Lewis there and then the rest of the band. If you don't know Gary Lewis, he is the son of the famous comedic actor Jerry Lewis, which we see on the back here, him and his dad here, and his parents are like here on the back. Anyway, so yeah, Jerry Lewis had a son named Gary, and he didn't want to be an actor, he wanted to be a rock and roll star. So started playing with a group of guys. Uh, obviously his name probably helped a little bit to get into the record business, though he didn't want it to. He wanted to keep his name kind of on the lowdown, but of course the record company was like, no, we're gonna put your name right on front, Gary Lewis and the Playboys. So I don't think that was their idea. I think that was the idea of the record company, if I remember right. And so of course they're trying to sell off of his name, Gary Lewis, and making sure, and he does have a little bit of a Jerry Lewis look to him as well. But I do like some of Gary Lewis's Playboy's big hit songs. I like this Diamond Ring is, I think, really good. But we got All Day and All the Night. I'm guessing the Kinks cover there. Love Potion #9, another big hit for, I'm guessing these are all covers. Needles and Pins, Dream Lover. The Night Has 1,000 Eyes. That was another big hit at the time. Not for them, I think, from another band maybe. The Birds and the Bees, I think I've heard that song before. Yeah, Keep Searching sounds familiar. Anyway, so some of these songs sound like some familiar covers. We'll see if they're got good covers, but at least I got this Diamond Ring here as well. So interesting. I'd love to get more Gary Lewis and Playboys. They're kind of an underrated band in my opinion. Because I don't think they lasted that long. They had a couple records that they had a number of big hits at the beginning, and then they kind of just faded away because I don't think they had the writing. I don't think they were writers themselves, and they really weren't that great musicians. I think they had to use session musicians so they weren't like a great touring band either. So plus the war, this was like then we got in the Vietnam War. I know Gary Lewis went and fought in the Vietnam, and then after that point, I don't think he did anything with the Gary Lewis. He has played though, of course. He's done a lot of shows by himself, playing their old hits, and I don't know if he still does that or not. He's pretty old probably now, but I know he has in the past. Two more records to talk about. It's another interesting one that, again, I don't know. I just saw it and I was like, it might be good. This is it says theme from Love Story by Billy Vaughn, and I don't know if this is the soundtrack of the Love Story. It says theme from Love Story, but we do got a picture from the movie Love Story. It came out like in 1970, I think. There's one of the main actor. I'm forgetting his name at the time, but it's a photo from that movie, which is a movie I actually like. It's called Love Story. It's obviously about a love story, a little sappy, but I actually quite enjoy it. It's got some good comedic moments in it, and it's got music from, I'm guessing, the movie is my guess. And the big thing is the theme from Love Story. It's a great theme. The orchestra theme, that plays. It's one of the best movie themes in my opinion. So I was like, that's cool. I'll have the theme from Love Story in my collection. But we got Close to You, which I'm guessing is the Carpenter song. You got Evil Ways. That sounds like a Santana song maybe or something, or I don't know. It sounds familiar. We have Let It Be, which I'm guessing is the Beatles song. We got We've Only Just Begun, another Carpenter song. Cracklin' Rosie, Neil Diamond song here as well. And we got Look What They've Done to My Song Ma, which I've heard as well. So it's got a couple pretty good songs here, plus the main theme I like. For a couple bucks, I was like, yeah, why not? Again, I love getting some of these more unusual records that make my collection a little unique. Like I don't think other people have those in their collections. And then we're gonna end with a Harry Chapin vinyl called Short Stories. Again, this is actually a bit of a blind buy. I don't know if I've heard this album before. If I have, I think I've heard it once before, but I don't remember a lot about it. So when I first saw it, I was like, I need to listen to, a lot of times I'll see albums and I'm like, I don't know, I probably need to listen on Spotify before I buy it. So I want to see if I actually like the album, but I do like Harry Chapin. He's one of my favorite folk singers. Great, probably the greatest storyteller. My favorite album is his first album though, Heads and Tails. Actually, actually quite like that album. It has my favorite song on it. But this has WOLD is the big song on here, which is a good song, hit song for him. That's the only song I know from this album. But like I said, I do like Harry Chapin quite a bit. Definitely want to do a deep dive on him at some point because he does have a lot of great stuff. Anyways, and he's such a great storyteller. He'd be fun to talk about. And obviously, had another tragic ending. Died way too young. A lot like some of my favorite, like Jim Croce and Buddy Holly and all that. But anyways, so hopefully this will be a good album to get into for Harry Chapin. Anybody out there who knows Harry Chapin can tell me if they know more about this album than I do. Anyway, so that's what I bought today. Thank you for watching, and please comment what you think about these movies or these albums, if you know anything about them. Love to read the comments anyways. And yeah, just thanking anybody who watched this video. Thank you for liking it and commenting. I appreciate that. And thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate all of you, and I hope you have a good day.